Well, good evening, and happy Tuesday. Welcome to the Leadership Edge podcast. I'm your host, Dr. P. Ronald Wilder. So glad you tuned in tonight. Trust you had a great day. Hope you had a happy Thanksgiving and Black Friday and all weekend shopping. And we are right dab slap in the beginning, in the heart of that Christmas season. And I trust that, man, it will be great for you, and the close of the year will be exceptional, and you'll start the new year off with your feet hitting the ground running. All right, and so thank you for tuning in tonight to the Leadership Edge podcast. As I always tell you, this podcast is dedicated to leadership, all things leadership. It's what we talk about here. It's what we do. We don't know everything there is to know about leadership, but we do know quite a bit. And what we know, we share. And so if this has been a blessing to you, thank you so very much. All right. Now listen, we're going to get ready to get into, I believe it's part number 5, and we should finish up today, of advice for leaders in the church, advice to leaders in the church. Again, I always get asked for my advice on matters. My wife was here with me. She could tell you the phone calls I get from pastors. I cover pastors. I'm a leader of leaders, and so I'm a pastor to pastors, and so they always call me. And then people that I'm not related to in terms of ministry, in other words, I don't cover them, but they know me, know of me, and they call for different things, how to handle this. And so this is part of what I do, and I love it. Okay. And so I put together this teaching, advice for leaders in the church. Since I'm always asking for advice, what are some of the key things I would give if I was doing a seminar and I had a bunch of pastors sitting in front of me? What's some of the advice I would give them? Well, we've been discussing that these 5 weeks. Now, last week we were talking about the issue of protocol, and we could go on protocol and stay there for a few weeks, but we think I did enough last week to help you understand the necessity of establishing protocol. All right. Now, the last bit of advice, I had 8 points of advice I would give. And the last one I would give to leaders, it says, avoid the kryptonite of leadership. Avoid the kryptonite of leadership. And I'm going to tell you what that kryptonite is in just a moment. But what is kryptonite? Well, I know we're living in the 21st century in 2024, and Marvel, we got about 100 superheroes, okay? Well, back when I was a kid, there weren't many superheroes, okay? As a matter of fact, I think in this generation, Batman is a superhero. When I grew up, Batman was not a superhero, okay? The superhero of my day was Superman. Look up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman. Faster than a speeding bullet. Pew! Able to leap tall buildings in a single bound. Able to more power than a locomotive. Faster than a speeding bullet. Superman was the man. Everybody wanted to be Superman. We didn't have a whole bunch of superheroes. So Superman was our superhero. Now, after him, a few others came along, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, and all these, but Flash, but the man was Superman. And to this day, Superman is still my favorite superhero, okay? And my favorite Superman of all time, God bless his whole rest, is Christopher Reeve. I just don't think nobody's as good as Christopher Reeve, okay? But anyway, Superman come from a planet called Krypton. And I think that's what it's called. And anyway, there was this particle from that. When he came to Earth, he was beyond anything we had seen. He was what it was, a Superman. Couldn't be killed, couldn't be hurt, couldn't feel pain, nothing. No way to stop him. But there was this particle from his planet called kryptonite. That if you put kryptonite, it was a green particle. If you put kryptonite on Superman, it would weaken him into a mortal man. And so everybody was trying to get kryptonite, all the enemies of Superman, Lex Luthor, played by Gene Hackman and all of that, all of kryptonite would break him down. So Superman stayed away from kryptonite. Well, I have found out that there's a kryptonite of leadership. In other words, there is something that will weaken leadership. It will cause it to be weakened, ineffective, no longer strengthened, almost dissolve it to nothing. And the kryptonite of leadership is the loss of desire. The loss of desire. That's the kryptonite of leadership. What makes a leader a great leader? And what makes a leader go is his passion, his drive. He's ready at all times. He's always moving. That's a leader. What kills a leader, and I've seen it happen, is when they lose the desire to lead, the desire for the vision, the desire for the work, the desire to be a part of a team, the desire to pay the price, the desire to put the work in. When they lose any of these desires, that leader begins to weaken. Now, if that gets into the whole team, it's almost over for that team because they have nothing else left. And so you have to avoid the kryptonite of leadership. That's why as a key senior leader, you have to monitor your leaders at all times. And when you see signs that something is heading in the wrong direction, you cannot ignore it and hope it gets better or hope things turn around. No, you got to be on that like a cat on a June bug. You got to hit that thing instantly. Hold them accountable. Because what happens is if that kryptonite gets inside the circle, then it can become contagious and begin to spread. So the kryptonite of leadership is the loss of desire. Now, what is desire? Desire is a longing, it's a craving, it's an urge, it's a yearning ambition to achieve something, to do something, or to become something, okay? So desire is this longing, it's this craving, this urge, this yearning to achieve something, to do something, or to become something. To achieve, to do, to become. To achieve, to do, to become. That's desire. The most dangerous state of a leader is when they lose the desire. They don't have it no more. It's not there. That's the most dangerous place for a leader. Got to avoid that. Now, let me give you some warning signs for leaders. This will help you know that this is signs that the leader may be heading towards kryptonite, loss of desire. I'm going to give you several. You might see one or all of them in a leader. If you see more than one, you probably begin to have some serious problems there. The first warning sign that a leader may be losing desire, that kryptonite may be setting in, is they're unconcerned. They have no more driving motivation to be concerned about anything. They're not concerned about the state of the affairs of the ministry, the state of the affairs of the church, the state of the affairs of the people. You know, real leaders are concerned. And they bring their concerns to you as the pastor because they connected, okay? And the real leader, they're bearing the burden of the ministry with you. That's what Moses told, what God told Moses in Exodus 11. Moses said, God, the burden is too great for me. And the Lord says, get the 70 elders and take the spirits that's upon you and put upon them, that they may help you bear the burden with thee, and you don't have to bear it alone. So see, real leadership is burden bearing. They get under the load, and they bear it with you on their shoulders. So because they're bearing it, they got sweat equity in it. Now they have concern about it. Okay? I'm going to say that again. Real leadership is burden bearing. You cannot call yourself a leader in an organization, a leader in the church or business or whatever you may be, and you're not bearing the burden of that church, of that ministry, whatever that burden might be. And that can cover several areas, but I'm not here to talk about what all that covers. I'm saying you bear the burden. So you bear the burden. You get up under with him. Now you got sweat equity in it. So now you're concerned about it because you are connected to it. But when you lose concern, hey, so-and-so wasn't at church. So what? I was here. So this, they lose concern. Things happening don't bother them. They're unconcerned. It's a sign that something awry is going on. Okay? Unconcerned. The second warning sign is unemotional. First, unconcerned. Second, unemotional. Unemotional means they don't have any passion to feel about what they're doing. There's no more, another thing about leaders is that they're passionate. You can feel them. You feed off of them. They bring energy to the situation. They bring positive energy. I'm the chaplain for the Clay Chalkford football team. I love being around the team, especially on Friday nights. Yeah, you can feel the energy. Certain guys bring energy. They bring energy to the team. They bring energy to the situation. And you see that emotion in them when they walk off the field. Come on, guys, let's go, dude. That's football. Now, something is wrong when one of those leaders come off and they just quit. They're unemotional. Same in the church. The leaders are the ones that's pumping everybody else, rallying the troops. Their passion is shown. They show emotion. But now that emotion is gone, and they just come and they go through the motion. It's the loss of desire. They've been kryptonited. Unconcerned, unemotional. The next one is indifferent. Indifferent, they have doesn't matter, take it or leave it. Have a take it or leave it attitude. Leaders should never have a take it or leave it attitude. Because leaders are in it. There's no such thing as leave it. Okay? I'm in it. We in it to work it, to make it happen, to solve the problem, to make it better. They're never indifferent. Well, don't matter to me. I've seen this attitude. I've seen this mindset. And the worst of this mindset is when that mindset gets at high levels of leadership, in the upper echelon. And that happens too sometimes. And so they have this indifferent attitude. They're unemotional. They're no longer attached to it. Their emotions are not attached. They'll come through service and everybody's worshiping, giving God praise, and they're, just like they're in a daze. Because truthfully what has happened at that point is they are there physically, but they left you in heart. And at that point, you almost have to let their body go where their heart has gone. Sometimes you can rescue them. Sometimes you can bring them back. Other times you can't. And if you can't, you got to be willing to let them go as to save the rest of the team. You can't try to save them and with their kryptonite and bring that and corrupt the rest of the team. Sometimes you just got to let them go. It's the burden of leadership. Nonchalant, that's the next one. That means that they are of the opinion what will be, so why try to do anything about it? Doesn't matter, whatever. Que sera, sera. Whatever will be, will be. Why are we putting our energy on this here? Why are we putting money on this here? Why are we putting time on this here? Whatever will be, just let it be. That's the attitude. All of these are signs of the loss of desire. Here's a dangerous one. Unresponsive. They become unresponsive. You know, one of the things you can always tell, I can always tell when a person is becoming disconnected from me. I watch them in two situations. I watch them when I'm preaching or teaching. I watch their responses. And I watch them when I'm talking in a meeting and they're there, I'm talking to them. Generally, when you're connected and you're right where it be, when the leader speaks, you're moved because you recognize that's the voice of God speaking to you through the leader. John the Baptist leaped in the womb when Jesus walked in the room in Mary's womb. Something leaps in you when the leader speaks. You hear it as the oracle of God. But when you can sit non-responsive, not even move like he's not talking to you, then that says to me there's been a serious disconnect. They often can sit and look at you when you're talking to them as if you haven't said a word. There was a time when you would say something and they would say, they would jump up or they would leap up. If you give them a command, tell them go, jump. They'll say, nah, how long we stand there? Now you say something and they look as though you're not even talking to them. It's the kryptonite. They've disconnected. They're unresponsive. They don't respond to your voice the same. They don't respond to your commands the same. When that happens, the next thing comes up is that they get detached. I just talked about that. That means they're not generally connected to any kind of commitment, okay? Whereas there used to be when every time the church had something, they were there. They're not there. When you travel to go to meetings or speak at places, they were always there. Now they're hardly ever seen. They become detached. This is the kryptonite of leadership. This is the loss of desire. The danger I see, the mistake I see many leaders make, and I have made it myself in my early days, that when a person had become unresponsive and detached from me, I would go and try to sew it back and try to hold them on to me. And even if you hold them, they're never the same. And you eventually have to let them go. And sometimes they came back and did more damage. I have learned in my years of older years, when they detach, I let them go. Because I'm not detaching them from me. If they have detached themselves from me, then that means that was a conscious decision they made. No need for me to go try to pull it back. So leaders, sometimes when people are detached, let them stay detached. Because you never get back what you once had. Unless they go through the process of the prodigal son and then as they come to themselves. Got to close, my time is gone. They become lethargic, don't have any energy to do something. And then the last thing that happened to them is they become inactive. They have no heart to serve. You can't get them to do anything anymore. They don't serve. And serving is the heartbeat of leadership. As a matter of fact, that's what made you a leader, your heart to serve. That's what qualifies you for leadership, is that you serve and you give your energy, you give your heart, you give your time, you give your talent, you give it to the betterment of the vision of the ministry. But now you become inactive. You're never available. You have no heart to serve. The kryptonite of leadership. So I tell leaders, avoid this. The warning signs you look for, they're unconcerned, they're unemotional, they're indifferent, they're nonchalant, they're unresponsive, they're detached, they're lethargic, and they're inactive. And I'll tell you, like Moses told, like Jethro told Moses, if you follow this advice, and if God commands you to do so, then you'll endure all the pressures, and all these people will go home in peace. The Bible says, so Moses listened to his father-in-law's advice and followed his suggestions. That's my message to you. Follow those suggestions. It'll help you on down the road. Leadership is not easy. Being at the helm of a ministry is not easy. Managing people is not easy. Leading people is not easy. But there's great rewards in it if you do it the right way. But make sure you avoid, for your leaders, the kryptonite of leadership. Hey, my time is up. Got to go. Listen, we'll be back with you next Tuesday. Don't forget to visit my website, www.pronaldwilder.com. It's on the internet. There you can find my book, The ABCs of Leadership. It's a great book. Been out for several years now. Actually turns 10 next year, but good principles. People are using it in leadership teachings and settings and classes, and so get that book. Also, go to my shop page. On my shop page will be all my leadership teachings there, over 30 teachings. We upgrade them as I'll probably add a few this year coming up, but they're all on the best buy on my web shop page is the bundle package under this jump drive here. Every teaching I got is on here, and if you buy this, you'll get it for less than half what if you bought everything separate on the website. So order this here. It's on the website. It'll be a blessing to you, okay? Listen, also, as I come up on my year's anniversary in February, a couple of months from now, I'm going to give a couple of these away to somebody in the audience. I'll tell you how that, or sometime in December, I'll tell you we'll start it, but I'm going to give a couple of these away. Amen. All right. Listen, don't forget BGTV Studios. This is a great platform. Appreciate Brad and all the technical guys here. Love these guys that make this happen every week. Help maintain this platform. You can give several ways, one-time gift or monthly gift. You can go to bgtvstudios.com, or you can go text any amount to 84321. This is good ground. The podcasters don't share in this here. It goes directly to BGT Studios. So do me a favor. Give a great Christmas offering, a great Christmas gift to this ministry through either of those platforms. Listen, my time is up. Dr. P. Ronald Wilder reminding you, as I always do, leadership matters and leaders lead. God bless you. I'll see you on next week.